Happy Friday, folks. We made it. We made it. It's Friday. So today in our Sack the Boss Daily, I want to share the life of a UW partner, what it's like when you're actively trying to build your UW business, build that amazing royalty income, that passive income stream that really does set us free financially. So we've got a really relaxed show for closing off the week. So please stay with me, and I will see you on the other side.
Let's go.
Okay, folks, so today's show is a bit of a wing it and pray scenario. I had a guest lined up, and wouldn't you know, half an hour before my go live, I got a wee message to say, look, we've got a wee family drama and I'm not able to jump onto the show. Some folk might panic, but not me. We're going to wing it. We're going to fly by the seat of our pants, and I'm going to run through a few things just off the top of my head after what's been a really, really busy week mentally as a UW partner. So I started off the week over in Bulgaria. If you follow the channel, first of all, like, share, do all that kind of stuff. The whole point in this channel is to help people realize that there's much better in life than just trading time for money, working for an employer. How do I know that? Because I've done it for years and years and years. And it's only through making a change in your life that things start to change for you. And I appreciate you're maybe not ready to change. That's totally fine. That's why I do these things every day, because consistency breeds change. So yeah, I had somebody lined up. They've let me down. They've not let me down. They've got something else that's came up, and that's totally fine. I understand that completely. You need to look after your family first. I would do the exact same thing. So Bulgaria was fantastic. I was at Mastermind. It made some real changes in me, and I've changes emotionally. That sounds so cheesy when I say that. I'm just so proud that I think that sounds cringe when you say it. But look, it was a case of some really powerful speakers. And when I came back to the UK and I wrote down some real changes. And the first change I made was this book. A guy called John Addison. Now, this guy maybe doesn't look like somebody that would really inspire you. I mean that just because he's just he's a guy from kind of like middle of nowhere in America. It's got that kind of some mad country bumpkin American accent. But my God, this is a really intelligent man. And the book's Real Leadership. It's got 9 simple practices for leading and living with purpose. Now, I'm not a massive reader. I do read because I want to learn. But I don't say I enjoy reading. I'm not reading and going, oh, this is fucking amazing. I'm more reading to try and just better myself. But this story really relates to me and my business right now. The challenges that he's going through when he's in his own business. So all I've been doing is I've been getting up a little bit earlier in the morning. And what I used to do is I would wake up, and then we probably all do the same thing. You wake up and then you go on your phone and you scroll for a while until you literally need to get out of bed. And I was in that habit where I would just wake up. I've got a young puppy golden retriever now, which is like an alarm clock. So it lets us know it's 6 a.m. It's time to rise and shine. So rather than, I can't be bothered getting up, scroll. And what happens is like 40 minutes passes. And at Mastermind, they were saying, look, real focused people, they make the most of every minute they can make. And I thought, right, so that's dead time in the morning. So why don't I just pick this bloody book up and start reading a little bit of it in the morning? So I've been getting up a little bit earlier, jumping in the shower earlier, grabbing my coffee, getting the place tidied, and then going and sitting in the living room and just literally started reading this book. I was trying to do 10 pages a day. But what actually happens is if you do kind of get into the book, and I was really starting to relate to a lot of the information in this book, Real Leadership. I need this because I am not naturally a good leader. I'm not, so I need this kind of shit. And the more I read it, the more engaging it became, and the more it started to relate to me, and the more I felt as if, my God, I need to know more about what this guy did and how he dealt with his challenges in his business to ensure that I could be better and be a better leader for my organization. So that was essentially Monday. Monday was all about me making changes in my daily structure so that I can build my business to the next level. The next rank in my business is a rank called National Group Leader. And that rank comes with a minimum income of £7,000 a month. Now, that's passive royalty income before you do any work. So in the kind of normal job world, that's like having a basic wage of £7,000, but you're still commission based. So then if you do any additional activity, the commission is on top of the seven. So if you help a few people save money, there's another maybe £1,000. If you help a few of your team members help their contacts save money, there's maybe another 1,000. You get paid in so many different ways in Utility Warehouse that with just, if you've got a £7,000 basic because you've got yourself to national, and then you're doing a little bit of just, maybe working 4 hours a day, very quickly you're going to be at £10,000 a month because you've got your 7 minimum, and then your own personal activity a month probably tops it up to 10. So that's like 120 grand a year. So I'm this close to it. But for some reason, I got myself into a scenario where I was just comfy because the passive income I've got at the moment is still really nice. It's not 7, but it's, it's chunky. It's way more than all my bills, direct debits, and everything else. So then I felt I was in that place where I was, yeah, I could do some work. I suppose I could, but I don't need to because that's coming in anyway. And that's the wrong mindset, which is why I spent the money for the ticket for Mastermind, £1,000 to go there to really upscale my thinking. Because I need to lead my team, because the rank I want most of my team to hit is the £2,000. So if you're in the team or you've got any questions or comments, this is a Freestyle Friday. As I say, I don't have a guest today. I did have lots of stuff planned, so I'm winging it. I'd love you to comment, ask me any questions, ask me when I plan to get my hair cut, anything. I don't give a toss. It's Freestyle Friday. I would just appreciate some feedback. So if you're in the team, let me know how things are going for you. If you're not in the team, let me know why the hell not. Why would you still be trading time for money? Because if you're watching this stuff, hopefully it's starting to rank your thinking up. So you're like, maybe there's something into that stuff that Del talks mince about. So that was Monday. Tuesday, what did we do on Tuesday? Where's my diary? Tuesday, tax return. Bloody hell. The most boring, pull your hair out kind of work ever. So my accountant wanted all the figures for the end of September, even though you don't do your tax return until January. They wanted everything for the end of September. Otherwise, I would have to pay them more because I was now giving them it with less time for them to do the work. So that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday was really quite inspiring. Wednesday was a really emotional day. So I started Wednesday morning. I had a one-to-one call with a girl that I met through my networking. A really, really nice girl. See, if you're into if you run a small business and you've got staff, then you need HR. But the thing with hiring your own HR member is it's really expensive because you're only having to pay somebody a salary. Whereas this girl, her name is Aga Fountain. You'll find her on LinkedIn. She has always worked in HR, so she's really skilled at what she does. But she is essentially freelance, so you can just contact her directly. She's got a digital product that means you can have the best HR advice, but without having to pay through the nose for a staff member, because you can just reach out to her. She covers all aspects of business, and it's new starts or employees up to 100 staff. So definitely reach out to her. I found her really quite inspiring, how she's able to help small businesses. Personally, I don't need HR because all of my organisation, they're all self-employed. I don't staff. I don't have to manage them. So for me personally, it wasn't good. But having been in the employed world in the car industry, I can see where HR is really, really important. So if you run a small business, you need to have that kind of stuff to protect yourself and to make sure your staff are looked after. Aga Fontaine, reach out to her on LinkedIn. Fantastic girl. Really easy to get on with. So you definitely want to reach her. That was Tuesday morning. That was Wednesday morning. And then on Wednesday afternoon, I was invited to be a guest on a call for a group of leaders in Utility Warehouse who are all at the rank of what's called group leader. So these are people who are now earning probably £2,000 to £3,000 part-time, but they still have a full-time job. They're still in their careers. They're maybe not earning enough in UW to make the full transition to give up their Monday to Friday 9 to 5, but they'd asked me to come on as a guest and tell my story. Now, I don't really have a filter. Don't know if you've noticed that yet. Some folk keep on mentioning the word ADHD to me, and I'm like, I've not got that. But the more I have people saying it to me, I'm like, do I? so anyway, I started off by telling my story from day one of Utility Warehouse and like proper telling my story. This is my story. My story is my kids. That is why even though I had an 80 grand a year job and looked successful from the outside, you'd look at me and you think, wow, 60 grand car, wife's driving a 50 grand car. He's got a really good role in the car dealership at Glasgow Audi, but this was my story. My story was these two wee gems, and that's not like a scar on Nina's eye, by the way. It's like something's hit the picture, and it's caused a wee mark. But that is one of the pictures that really inspires me with my kids, because I just think that's when I remember them. I shut my eyes and I remember them at that age, and I just loved them at that age. Kids at that age, you can tell them anything, they believe it. There's so much pleasure. They still believe in Santa. They believe in the tooth fairy. You need to read them a story at night. You get to tuck them in. They're just adorable at that age. Not that they're not adorable at 21 and 19. It's just different. And I'm sure if you've got teenagers, you'll know what I mean. So that was my story. That was my why. That was why I decided to, because when you join UW, you actually have to do more first so that you can do less later on. And what I mean by that is nobody just gives up their job. What they do is they start UW around a job. So if you're a nurse, you keep being a nurse. But when you're off shift, or in the evenings or in the nooks and crannies, you help people. Now, I'm not getting any questions or comments. What's up with you lot? I can see folk are watching. Come on, hurry up. Just get on the keyboard. Help me out here. I'm winging it. Because it was a choice between not going live or go live to stay consistent and just think, God, let's see how this rolls. That was the why. And I was telling all these group leaders, and but I told them like from the heart, and I was telling them about the challenges I've had building Utility Warehouse. It's not easy. You need to have these books because the books keep you motivated. The books are the reason that when somebody tells you to fuck off, you're not interested in building wealth, you don't crumble and die inside, because somebody who you really looked up to, who you thought you're offering them the ability to, generate significant income, and then they say, not interested, rather than crumble, the books remind you that nothing is easy in life. Nothing is easy. Building a business is not easy. 90% of small businesses fail in the first 3 years. Why do 90% fail? Probably because the people aren't reading personal development books to keep this thing in check, so that when all the horrible people in the world shoot you down, it doesn't kill you inside. And I was explaining to them the challenges I'd had, and some of the challenges I've had have been really significant. Really. I'm not going to share them on this call. It's not the place. But I've had massive challenges in trying to get where I am today. Financial challenges. The letters that come through from credit cards saying, Dale, why haven't you paid that? Those kind of challenges. And these are not things people are happy to open up about. But in this private group, I felt safe because there were people all on the same journey as me, and I told them my entire story. And I was emotional at some points. My eyes were kind of tearing up a little bit. I blame that bloody guy, Rutney Sluice, that was at Mastermind, that did NLP on us all. And now I just seem to get really emotional a lot more. But I shared my challenges because it's important for. Oh, there's some comments. I may as well share them. Please be nice ones. There's a wee comment. Oh, there's Yvonne Moore. Good on you, Yvonne. On the Rangers. Yvonne is a mad Rangers fan. So thanks for appreciate the comment. So yeah, where was I? Just sharing the challenges in my business, and these are group leaders. So group leaders that are quite a decent rank. You know, it's a lot of time and effort to get there. You need to be quite consistent to get there. And no, James, you can just turn up. We prepare you to book, but you're not going to get refused. The booking just helps us manage the numbers. And it was really inspiring because see, after that call, now it's fully recorded, right? So see if you are in UW and you want to hear my story unfiltered, how the hell did I manage to get through this business to not just now. Listen, I'm honestly, Mikey Nicholson needs to do a public statement to the Celtic fans before they really turn on him. He's not doing an interview, and that's what's pissing the fans off. They want to hear from the CEO of the company. He just needs to hurry up and do an interview. So hey Katie, so I've got it recorded, right? So see if you do want a copy. What I'm probably going to do, I'm going to do a Zoom call where I'll share that only to UW partners because it's personal, and I'm not prepared to share it publicly, but I would share it with people in Utility Warehouse because we're all in the same mission. We're all in the same goal, and that goal is building financial freedom so that we don't need to work for an employer anymore. Hi Anne, thanks. I really appreciate the comments. You're helping me out here. As I say, I'm winging it. So I did that, and then afterwards I had 4 different phone calls from people on that group. Some of them I haven't met before, and they were like, really, and these are group leaders. They're just the rank before I am, so they're really experienced people in UW, and they were phoning me saying, look, Dale, that was like probably one of the most powerful things I've ever heard, because I think some folk don't open up fully when they're in UW. They maybe kind of keep to the kind of company line, but they don't really just open up the good, the bad, and the ugly. And like I say, I don't really have the ability to do anything other than that. I'm not clever enough to try and think of some mad, catchy way of doing it all. So that was Wednesday. It was dead emotional though. And I do appreciate any GLs, because if you follow in social media, you maybe see this. I really appreciate the comments I got. It gives me it actually inspires me to be better, and I really appreciate all of that feedback. Thursday was about the Celtic are shite. I don't know what's going on. A bad transfer window and just bad planning, and now we couldn't score a goal to save ourselves, to be honest. So we'll see how Sunday goes against Motherwell. I think we'll get beat. I really think we'll get beat against Motherwell. Yesterday, what was yesterday was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah, Thursday yesterday, and then today, as I say, I did the guest plan for today, but that's not happened. So we're going with a Freestyle Friday, and AI gave me these ideas. AI is brilliant. So I've got this, what we call this boom mic, I think it's called. So what I do is I sit in my office and I actually talk to AI as I work. It's like brainstorming with the cleverest person in the room. And it's been really helping me out because, I'm looking at the structure of my organization. I've got, a lot of people in my business are inactive. And I've got a section of my business that is active. Now that's normal for for network marketing. You get the majority of your income from only a small percentage of your business. But what I was getting told in Mastermind is, look, you can't drag people on the journey with you. So as much as you maybe want to as much as you maybe want to bring people along with you on the journey of building wealth, building passive income, it has to be a team sport. And very much like if you're a team, if I was the coach of a team and I've got team members who are not turning up to training for the football training, you play at the weekend, but you maybe train twice a week. If you've got people not turning up to the twice a week training, you would never in a million years play them on the Saturday. You'd be like, you're not getting a game because you didn't come at the training. The people who come at the training get a game. And they were really telling us at Mastermind, that is the kind of approach. And also, John Addison, that was very much a guy called Art Williams. There's a really, really good video on YouTube. UW folk will have seen it. It's just do it and do it and do it and do it till the cows come home, and then do it and do it. And I think he said that speech in front of like presidents in America. I think it was in the White House, that speech. He was the guy who ran the company that John Addison was part of when John just started. So his mentor was Art Williams, and Art Williams was a football coach. And the way they operated their business was, look, you work with the people who come to the training. The people who don't come to training, they're not wanting to be part of the mission. So when I look back at my business, I'm doing a little bit of restructuring of everything right now. I'm restructuring my WhatsApp groups. I'm restructuring my social medias, because if I've got a whole pile of people who are not coming to the trainings, then they cannot become part of the mission. And I'm scared of that thought. I'm scared because I'm like, oh no, what if I met these people and they fall out of me? Well, they've already kind of left. They're just staying in a WhatsApp group for the sake of it, but they're not actually doing anything. They're not part of the mission. They're not coming to the trainings. They're maybe doing something in their own wee world separately themselves, but it's a team sport. And these are what the books are teaching, and it's what the Mastermind was teaching. And at the end of the day, I'm thick as mince, but I'll copy what works. So that's what I've been doing kind of all through the week, a lot of this kind of stuff. So today, my daughter, I'm helping her this evening. I'm going to be out helping at her dessert shop because they need a little bit of a hand. And yeah, so that's been the week. Freestyle Friday, just a little bit of a rundown of how it's all been. So look, I appreciate the comments. I want to finish off by just showing people what we call a martini presentation. The martini presentation is what we use to educate people who are not yet part of our business as to why on earth so many people do more to then be able to do less. And like I say, it's, who was the recent? I've just recruited a girl who runs her own aesthetics business. Now, this girl is not short a few quid. Trust me. I've been in her house. I've seen her car. I've been on her website. I've seen the prices she charged. And I also know she's very highly rated in Glasgow. Very highly rated. And I actually said to her, I says, look, you are really successful in what you do. And you clearly have a shitload of money coming in. Why did you want to do this? And she was like, I like the challenge of building businesses. And I also know because her friend brought her into my organization, and her friend is a good friend of mine. So she understands that it's not about making upfront money. It's about building passive income. Because if you've got 10 grand a month coming in passive income, you don't need to go to work anymore, because you've built that wealth, and that's what this is all about. So I'm going to play a martini presentation. It's, I think, 2 minutes long. And it really just explains how the compounding works, why we focus on helping other people join the team, because by helping, motivating, supporting, and coaching new team members, we're actually able to build wealth, which is generational. So here we go.
Someone you know wants to earn an extra income. Let's call her Sally. You help her get started, and she introduces her friends as customers. You get paid for all the people she introduces, and it doesn't stop there. Now, imagine some of Sally's friends also decide that they would like to earn extra money and join as partners as well. Well, you also get paid every month for all the people Sally's team introduces. We call this group income. And here's how it works. Let's imagine you find 5 people, like Sally, who want to earn an extra income as a utility warehouse partner. Over time, each of them also finds 5 like-minded people. Now, those 25 people also introduce 5 more each. That's an extra 125 partners in your team. Let's go down one more level. Those 125 people find 5 more each too. You now have a growing team of 780 partners, and you only introduced 5 yourself. And you guessed it, you get paid on all the customers those 780 partners introduce. Let's imagine, with help and the free training, each of those partners gather on average just 10 customers each. That means you would get paid on all 7,800 of these customers. How much? About 30 pence every month for each customer, which in this example would be £2,340 a month. That's more than the average salary in the UK. How would this extra monthly income help you? And it doesn't have to stop there. You can keep growing your team and your income will continue to go up.
Okay, so that's the martini presentation. So, Katie, really good question. Why is it called a martini presentation? Here's why. Because this book here, the 45-second presentation that will change your life by Don Fiella, in it, he talks, I'm not sure if he actually created the martini presentation, but he explains why. That example there is 99% of people in the world have a job, right? But they don't. That means you don't have leverage, because leverage is how you make money from other people's efforts. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, your boss makes money for you, so leverage is good. But if you're an employee and you're down the kind of, the bottom rung of the, there's the employees, then there's the managers, then there's the senior managers, then there's the CEO. Bit of a pyramid when you work in the traditional job. Do you know what I mean? The guy at the top makes all the money and all the employees do all the work. So what he's saying there is, look, it's our duty as UW partners, or sorry, not UW, network marketing professionals, to educate the masses that it's cool to work for linear income. You need to pay your bills, but you can also build leverage by helping people join an organization, because network marketing is build a network and market a product or a service through the network. So if it's products, it's Avon, it's Herbalife. If it's services, it's utility warehouse, it's energy, it's broadband, it's mobiles. It's using the power of others to still build a network. And a martini presentation, you're meant to be able to do that diagram, that video that I just played, you're meant to be able to do that on a cocktail napkin. So that if you're sitting in a nice bar and you strike up a conversation with somebody and they moan about, oh, I wish I had more time off, I wish I had more holidays, I wish I had more income, you can literally draw that out on the back of a martini napkin. You can just, because you're meant to memorize that. If you're a professional network marketer, you should know that off by heart. So that video, I can do that just anywhere, anytime. I can draw that 5 people, help recruit 5 people becomes 25 people, recruit 5 people becomes 125. My business, I've got just short of 1,700 team members. So when you go back to that, oh shit, sorry, mute it. So when I go back to that diagram and I just go to the end, I'll just pause that. Yeah. So that diagram, that's how all network marketing businesses operate. It's motivated people who want to have a better source of income. But there's only 24 hours in the day. So if there's only 24 hours in the day, you can only earn if you're on an hourly wage, you can only earn 24 times what you earn. But the leverage of other people's efforts allows you to earn way, way more, even though there's only 24 hours in the day, because now when you're not working, because you introduced somebody, you coached, mentored, and supported them, you build leverage, which means that you're now earning off others' efforts. And in that example, you can say, and that's pretty much accurate because that's Utility Warehouse's numbers. We earn an average of 30 pence from a group customer. So a group customer is a customer that's joined the network that wasn't introduced by me. So when my team member goes and introduces a customer, they get personal royalty income, which is way higher than 30 pence. but because they're part of my organisation and I've helped, supported, coached them, talked mince to them on a Facebook Live, then I'll get 30 pence a month from the customer that they introduced, even though I had nothing to do with it. And that builds that real wealth. So you can do the numbers. As I say, if my team's about 1,700, and when I look at that 2,340, my royalty income, it's not far off matching up with that chart. And that's what builds the kind of leverage. So that's why it's called a martini presentation. And then the last thing that we do is along the bottom of the screen. My God, I've been talking for 30 minutes. That is bizarre. Well, we'll see what the engagement rates are like on this one, whether it was better or worse. So Freestyle Friday is clearly longer than anything else. This is the magazine that people can get to give them their information. So if somebody wants to know a bit more about UW, we give them a copy of this magazine. It's digital. As you can see, it's got Ben Fogle on the front. He's our brand ambassador. Then it talks through how you can earn more income. There's lots of different partners. I know all these girls. There's Fraser Graham through in Edinburgh. He made 21 grand in 6 months part-time. Do you know what I mean? A normal job, but around the normal job, he still managed to top an extra £21,000 just by being a UW partner. That's pretty good. I can't think of many other places you can do that kind of thing. There's somebody that's got £800 a month in royalty income just because they've built themselves a team. There's somebody on 23. Oh, there's Natasha. Oh, she's brilliant. She's in Wales. I met her at Mastermind last year. She's a lovely girl. So this magazine just gives you stories and examples of different. There's Chandler. He is amazing. The boy on the left-hand side. I was sitting beside him at Mastermind, and Sophia. He goes out and goes round doors. He loves it because he loves to keep fit. So by going round doors, he keeps fit. But he makes like a serious income. There's more people telling about the royalties they've built. There's the free cars that you can get from Utility Warehouse. I've got one of the Teslas. There's all about women because our business is mainly female. Like, I'm in the minority. Most of the Utility Warehouse is women because women are really positive in mindset. They are quite happy talking to people because it's loads of teachers, loads of female teachers do Utility Warehouse. Let's go. There's a bit about how the money works, how we get paid. You can make £1,000 easily working part-time. And then there's our Witch Awards, U-Switch, Ben, and then there's the history of the company. It's been going since 1996. You can see that before Ben Fogle, we had Joanna Lumley was our brand ambassador. Before that, it was Terry Wogan. Before that, it was French and Saunders. And then way back, it was actually Paul Daniels and Debbie McGee. And then you can see the turnover. We started, 1997. So what's that? It's nearly 30 odd years ago. We were only 1 million turnover. 2021, 861 million turnover. And last year, we were over £1 billion in turnover. So we're a humongous company. This magazine's really good. It kind of upscales people's thinking, let them realise, oh, right, so it's not just a daft wee job. It's actually a massive business. Oh, yeah, right, that's me. No, that's not me. Change, get rid of that. Cool. So Freestyle Friday is basically twice as long as any other live through the week. So look, I really appreciate the feedback. You've helped me out massively. I cannot tell you. Because I was like, shit, what'll I do? Don't do one. The wee devil on this shoulder was going, just don't do it, Dale. Don't do your live. Just doesn't matter. You can miss one. And then the angel on this side is saying, Dale, you said you'd be consistent. You need to be an example to your team. Consistency is how you win. So thanks for helping me out. Thanks for giving me a bit of feedback. And look, if you have watched this and you want to make money and you know a Utility Warehouse partner, reach out to them directly. Speak to them. Ask them how it works. They'll be more than happy to get you a copy of that magazine. They'll sit and they'll show a martini presentation to you. So speak to the person you know first. So if you do know somebody, speak to them directly. If you don't know anyone and you've came across me talking shit on social media, then or on the YouTube channel, 10,500 people viewed my YouTube channel in the last 28 days. So if you don't know a UW partner and you want a bit of help, can you do this alongside Football Manager? I'm putting my CV in a club in Jay, by the way, He's got a few quid as well. Driving, what's that, a Porsche something? Can't even remember the name. The mad Porsche 4-door electric. He's got a few quid. If he tells you he's not, don't listen to him. He's property developer. What else do you do? Financial services, crypto, maybe. Well, I like crypto. God, Bitcoin. That reminds me. Bitcoin. This time last week, Bitcoin was $110,000. This week, it's $120,000. So call it, so that's 10%-ish. So if you'd invested £100 in Bitcoin this time last week, you'd be 10% up. You'd have made 10% profit by doing fuck all other than just buying it and sitting and holding it. Jay dabbles in a few things. Yes, of course you do, mate. Because that's what wealthy people do. They've got more than one source of income. They don't rely on a paycheck. They do more to ensure they have more. Because Jay's got a lovely family. My daughter knows his wains. And that's what UW does. It also creates friendships. Jay's not in my business, but I consider him a friend, and I would always help and support him if he ever needed any help. And that's what UW is about. People helping people. Okay, look, I've done enough. My God, 35 minutes. Have a lovely weekend. I'll see you all on Monday. God knows what Monday will bring, but it will bring something. All right. Take it easy, everyone. Stay safe. God bless.
Let's go.